All right, guys, we've got another video here for you guys today. This one's gonna be one of my favorite books, okay? It's called A New Earth. A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, okay? And we're gonna go over the 4 main points, and this one is very near and dear to me because this is one of those books where I read and I was just like, there was so many like, wow, this all makes so much sense kind of moments in this book where I was just like, everything just clicked together, okay? The first one is very straightforward. Presence is everything. That's a very bold statement. Presence is everything. When you're present, nothing matters, okay? And this is a bold statement, but if you think about it and if you understand it, when you're present, when you're literally present to the moment, that means you're not thinking inside your mind. That means you're not thinking about the past, you're not projecting the future, you're not fearing anything, you're literally just living right here in the present moment. Listening and just hearing what I'm talking about, being just right here, okay? And when you're in that state, which is not a very easy state to be in all the time, by the way, because our minds are just so used to thinking and going into we always go into our minds, we project, all kinds of random things about the future. We start ruminating about the past and all this other stuff. But when we're actually present, when you notice that you're actually present, you'll know that you can't really feel any negative emotions. There's nothing that can hurt you when you're in your present moment. Emotionally, I mean, obviously physically, if somebody throws like a baseball bat at your face, it's gonna hurt you. But I'm saying that when you're literally in the present moment, you're just at one with everything around you. Everything is at one. Like when you look at, the walls, this picture over here, there's a fan over here. Anything you look at, you're literally at one with it. Everything is you, and you are everything. It's a very spiritual kind of thing, but just think about that. Let it sink in for a second, okay? And hopefully as we go through this video, you're gonna understand a little bit more of what I just said there, because if you haven't done a lot of spiritual work, or if you haven't been meditating a lot, some of this might sound like some, wishy-washy bullshit, but I promise there is some truth to this, okay? So number 2, emotions exist in the realm of opposites. There is no highs without lows, okay? So emotions exist in the realm of opposites. There are no highs without lows. And, poker is a good example for this one, actually, funny enough. We were doing a mental game session with a poker player. And, for those of you who watch poker, you can relate to this. And for those of you who don't play poker, you still can relate to this, because this is a very easy example to follow through. So here's the thing. So there was a guy, he was losing quite a bit for a little while. It was a couple of weeks where he just kept losing. And he felt terrible about it. It was just crushing him on the inside. You see, if something has the ability to make you feel that terrible, then it also has the ability to make you feel really, really good. So what's my point here? The main point being is, if there's a certain something, somebody, whatever it is, anything it is that can make you feel very, very low, very bad, it also means that this certain something has control to make you feel very, very good. So let's say, for example, you're a poker player, and I'm just gonna use some hypothetical numbers here, okay? Let's say you won in 1 week. Let's say you made, $20,000, okay? If you're happy about the $20,000 you made, if you feel positive emotions about this $20,000, or whether it be your chip EV graph going up, or whatever it is, if you feel positive emotions about making 20,000 EV, 20,000 real, whatever it is, then it goes without say that when you're having a downswing and when things are going bad, you're gonna feel a lot of negative emotions. So what's the key here? The key is to neutralize your emotions. Don't be so happy when things are going your way. Because there's a quote, actually, I did a whole video on this channel. And the quote is, it's never as good as it seems, and it's never as bad as it seems. It's always in that middle gray area. It's just our perception in that moment is driving us all the way this way or all the way this way. It's never as good as it seems, and it's never as bad as it seems, okay? I'll give you another example. Let's say, for example, I have a friend, he likes soccer, okay? There's a soccer team. And this specific soccer team, if they win, or if they lose, let's say they make it to the finals, and if they lose, he gets very upset. He gets very upset only because if they win, he gets very happy. Okay, so once you understand this dynamic, that emotions exist only in the realm of opposites. See, I'm watching that same soccer game, and I don't care if they lose or win. Well, I don't get upset when they lose because I don't care when they win. Okay? So what this comes down to, you might be asking, how can I control that? Like, if I get upset at this and I get happy with this, how can I control that? That's an excellent question. Because you're in control of that. You decide how happy you are when a certain something happens. Let's go back to the poker example. Let's say you make that $20,000, okay? Let's say you make that $20,000 and you're super happy about it, and you notice, now you're aware. You're like, oh, I'm getting way too happy about this. Who cares? Okay? The $20,000 is something I should not have my emotions tied to. Because you can tie your emotions to anything you want to tie them to. So for example, you can be happy, you can train yourself to be happy when you, for example, study for 1 hour and play for 7 hours. You can train yourself to be happy for just watching the soccer game, regardless of who wins or loses. See, you get to choose consciously what you tie your emotions to, okay? You choose consciously what you tie your emotions to. And the easiest way to untie your emotions from a certain something is to stop allowing that thing to bring you happiness. Because if it can't bring you happiness, then it also cannot bring you to those lows. Okay? So if it can't bring you up here, then it also can't bring you down here. And so it'll just you'll fluctuate in this range right here. You'll just go up and down right here. You won't be all the way up here. You won't be all the way down here. Very, very important for your mental game in life. This way you know you're not like a puppet that your emotions are all over the place. Like they're over there, they're over there, they're over there. Because you know how to stay in control of your emotions. Okay, you consciously know that you should be tying your emotions. We all deep down inside know that we should only be tying our emotions with something that we have 100% control over. Okay, like in poker, let's use these two examples. We're gonna stick on these two because these are the two we already chose. The examples are endless. I can give hundreds of examples, okay? But we're gonna stick with these two just to kind of, get the point across. So let's say in poker, let's say you are, you lose that, you win the $20,000, right? And you get happy. That's something that you cannot directly control. Unfortunately, you cannot directly control that. What you can directly control is how many hours you're studying and how many hours you're playing. So tie your emotions to that. Be happy at the end of the day when you study and you play the hours that you said you were going to play. Let yourself be happy. Allow yourself to feel that happiness. It's like, oh, I feel so happy. I played exactly how many hours I said I was going to play. I studied like I said. And the soccer game, allow yourself to be happy just from seeing the game, just from being able to watch it and observe it. And that brings you happiness. This way, both of those examples, that means your happiness is 100% in your control. Because whether you win or lose $20,000 in a given week, an EV or whatever it may be, unfortunately, that's not directly in your control. Card distribution can do whatever it wants. Soccer, same thing. Your team might win or lose. You don't know, okay? You are not in control of that at all. So if you want to live a happier life where you have less highs and lows in your life, you have less all the way up here and less all the way down here, but you're always like kind of neutrals to positive, like you always have like this feel good, but it's never like absolutely amazing and it's never absolutely soul crushing, then tie your emotions to things that you have 100% control over. And untie your emotions from things that are outside of you that you unfortunately don't have 100% control over, okay? Let me know if you guys have any questions about that in the comments, or if you have anything to challenge me about that in the comments. I'd love to talk about it. Number 3, this is a really cool one, okay? You guys have to bear with me on this one because this one is long. You're gonna see this. You see this? This is like, we got like 5 lines for this number 3. Listen closely to this story, okay? This is a story straight from the book, very eye-opening. A man once won a new car, okay? His friends said, wow, that is incredible, okay? He won a new car. His friends said, that is incredible. He said, maybe. He then got into a car accident, okay? He got into a car accident with that car that he won and was hospitalized. His friend said, how unfortunate of that to happen. He said, maybe. Okay? His house was then hit by a landslide and got washed into the sea. His house was then hit by a landslide and got washed into the sea. His friends said how lucky it was for him to be in the hospital during that time. He said maybe. He said maybe. Think about that for a second. He won the car, okay? And his friend said, that's the most incredible thing ever. Maybe. But then he got into a car accident, okay? Which he wouldn't have got into if he hadn't won the car. And his friend said, how unfortunate, how unlucky, that's terrible. See, now they switched from good to bad, and he's still at maybe, right in the middle. You see, at first his friends were up here. Good, oh, that's incredible. And then they were down here, oh, that's so terrible. For him, he was in the middle both times. Maybe, good or bad, okay? And then the landslide hit his house while he was in the hospital from that car accident. And his friends said, how lucky now. Now that they went from here, his friends went from here, down here, and then back up here. And then he said maybe again. He was still in this zone right here, just fluctuating right here, just floating around, okay? And this is all gonna make sense after number 4 here. Okay, after we discuss number 4, what's good or what's bad is a label we put on reality by thinking with a limited perception. What's good or what's bad is a label we put on reality by thinking with a limited perception, okay? Think about that. How do you know if something's good? The guy won the car. That seemingly was a good thing until he got into an accident and was hospitalized. Now it became a bad thing. See, now the perception changed. It's all about perception. Everything is about perception, okay? How you see something changes everything, okay? So deciding whether something is good or bad is basically a judgment that you're making in that moment with having limited information. You don't know yet. You really don't know yet, right? So what's good and what's bad at the end of the day? That's for you to decide, but to be aware that when you make that decision between what's good and what's bad, you're usually making that decision based on a limited perception. You don't have all the information, okay? You're just deciding out of thin air. So that's just something to think about. For anyone that resonated with anything at all in this book, or in this review, I should say, definitely pick up this book. If it's your first spiritual book, it might be a little bit much, but it's such a good book. It is so good. It is so good. I was reading this book, I was like, wow, it all makes sense. But what's funny is if I read this book maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, I may have just kind of like just dismissed it as like being like a mediocre book. And I remember, I had a friend, David G. He recommended this book to me strongly. He strongly recommended this book to me. I want to say like 6 or 7 years ago. And I was like, I don't want to read that spiritual garbage, I don't want to read that trash. And I didn't read it, and then I came full circle like 5 or 6 years later, and I read the book, and I'm so glad that I did, because at the end of the day, I do have a strong belief that presence is everything, okay? Being present to the moment changes your experience of life. You see, when you're with people, or you're, let's say you're even walking down the street or whatever, and you're inside your mind just thinking and like listening to that voice inside your mind, like that narrator that's inside your mind. You should have done this, you should have done that this morning, you should have, this happened last week, let's think about that. Oh, what about the future? Let's start thinking about that. All of a sudden that brings you inside your head, and you're no longer in this present moment enjoying the reality that's right in front of you, okay? Enjoying the beautiful moment that's literally sitting right in front of you, okay? So let me know what you guys think. If you guys like the video, drop a like. If you're not subscribed, then subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.